Everybody, thank you for joining us again for another episode of the Pursuit of Purpose podcast. I'm Rob.
I'm Chuck.
And today we have with us, that's you.
Oh, Simone Knego. I was like, I thought you guys were going to say it first. Woo-hoo.
Right? No, I want you to introduce yourself. No one knows you better than you.
Yeah. That is true. I mean, I think so at least. So
Simone, where are you hailing from today?
I'm in Sarasota, Florida.
Sarasota, Florida. So, we've got some folks on the West Coast, some folks up north, and even some Canadians. Mm-hmm. So what part of Florida is that in for the folks that don't know?
So it's west coast of Florida, just about an hour south of Tampa.
Huh. Okay.
And it's beautiful weather. Today I'm wearing a sweater because it's 50 degrees outside. Woo! It's like deep winter for us.
Winter has arrived in Sarasota, Florida.
For 2 days.
I was on Facebook this morning, really spending some quality time feeding my brain with such nonsense, on Facebook. And I saw this guy in Florida scraping frost off of his windshield. I'm not sure exactly where he was, but he was scraping frost off of his windshield with a medical marijuana card.
Yes.
That sounds like Florida.
Right?
Yes.
Oh,
but
wow.
He said, his sentiment was that we're experiencing blizzard-like conditions here in Florida. And there he was with his little frost.
Yes. That is blizzard. And, one of the weird things that happens in Florida is that we have iguanas here. And so when it gets, I think, below 50 degrees, they don't die, but they just become immobilized and they start falling from trees. And you'll just see them like on the ground and they look like they're dead, but they're not dead. They just need to warm up.
So my wife
Didn't know that.
has a severe phobia of iguanas.
Oh, gosh.
And she saw on Facebook she scrolls a lot and we both do. We watch reels and stuff like that, but she saw on there where they would do that, where they would fall. And we love Florida. We go to Florida pretty regularly. And, she said if ever she was there and that happened, they'd just have to bury her on the spot because she thinks she'd just die right there.
Yes.
Being attacked by an
It
iguana.
was raining from the sky.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the weirdest thing there's a lot of weird in Florida, but that's like one of the weirdest things is just seeing them fall from a tree. And,
Do they come in your yard? Do you like squirrels and things? Do they come in your yard?
So we're starting to get more of them. They started off in really southern Florida and now they're moving their way up. So there's a ton of them in the Keys and now they're moving their way up. So yeah, we have lizards everywhere here. Not necessarily iguanas. We have a few, but we have lizards everywhere.
Well, we got lizards and geckos right here in Southeast Texas, but as of yet, we don't have anything between the lizard gecko and the alligator. There's nothing in the middle, like an iguana. We haven't gone that direction just yet.
We haven't quite bridged that gap.
Yeah, just wait for someone to bring a couple, set them free, and then you'll have a whole population of them.
Well, we're going to let those stay over there. Let you guys.
Right. All we need is a truck turning over out here on I-10 or something.
Oh, the monkeys got loose. The monkeys got loose. Did you hear about that?
Yes, I did.
Man.
That was exciting.
So where were you born, Simone?
I was born in Buffalo, New York.
Okay. Well, I could definitely hear that your origin is not probably in the South. In your voice, you definitely have some influence from elsewhere in that accent of yours.
Yeah.
So Buffalo, New York. How old were you when you left the motherland and came down here?
So I was 13, and my parents actually moved to Gainesville, Florida.
Okay.
They were both physicians, and so I went to high school there. I went to college there, met my husband there, and then actually we moved to Texas for 5 years. We were in Tyler for 5 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're telling me that you came to God's country and made the active decision to leave it behind?
I'll tell you why. So I loved it there. We had 30 acres. I had the horse farm of my dreams. I loved it. My husband is a physician. The way they did call there was they took trauma call. It was a level 1 trauma center a week at a time. So for a week, all he saw was trauma, and it was really hard. I mean, he did not sleep during that week. And we had, but when we were there, it was a dry county. So people would go across county lines, start drinking and drive back. So between that and and I heard it's not dry anymore, but between that and the tractor and, things that happened and
Mhm.
rodeo and stuff, it was a really hard life. So he
Yeah.
decided he didn't want to do that anymore. So that's why we left. Not because we didn't love it there, because I did love it there. I literally
Okay.
had the place of my dreams.
Well, Texas is not a small place.
No.
Mhm.
And there were a lot of options, and we forgive you for leaving us.
Yes.
We
Thank you.
understand.
Thank you.
And we still love you, and we know that you carry a little bit of Texas in your heart, because you
Yes.
can't live in Texas, leave it, and it not go with you. It's
That's right.
impossible.
That's right.
I can hear
That's
it.
why I say I love it.
There
But
you go.
Yeah.
See?
You breathed our air. You ate from our soil. It's in you.
there's no sky like a Texas sky.
Right.
Amen
Right.
to that.
And Tyler's in that beautiful Piney Wood, East Texas, and oh my God, that is literally, God's country. You can go out West Texas, which I'm sure maybe y'all traveled some when you were here. And I mean, drive 5 hours, you can see 5 different terrains, but
Yeah.
there's nothing like East Texas.
Yeah, I agree.
So you moved from New York when you were 13. Your parents were both doctors.
Hmm.
And I heard through your story that you found yourself a doctor. You kept the tradition. What did you yourself become?
So I was going to be a doctor, and
Okay.
then I failed organic chemistry. And then I took it again and got a D in it the second time. And I said, well, I guess this isn't for me, because you need that to go to medical school. So
Okay.
I decided, no, I didn't decide. My dad said, I wanted to be an actor. And my dad said, well, I'm paying for school. You're really good at math. You should do accounting. And so guess what? I did
Yeah.
accounting, bachelor's and master's in accounting. I became a CPA. I worked for that for a couple of years and said, this is not for me. And I changed my mind many times. And now I do what I love, which is writing and speaking and podcasting and, coaching.
Very good. I love to
Yes.
hear that. And, it's a fascinating thing that you have a similarity to so many people who get an accounting degree.
Mm.
I have tons of friends, and they have one of 2 degrees. They either have business management
Mhm.
or accounting, and none of them are accountants.
Right.
Like, none of them. But the degree matters because it shows that you could start and finish something.
Yes.
And, it shows that you had that discipline. So good on you for that.
I was going to say kudos to me. Yay.
Yes. Was that University of Florida? Is that where
Yeah,
you went?
University of Florida. I actually, my first year I went to Auburn. I skipped my last year of high school. I went early admission, and Florida didn't allow you to do that. So I went my first year to Auburn, and then I transferred back to UF after that.
Okay. Well, you stayed in the SEC, so
Yeah.
look at you.
Yeah.
So how many siblings did you have?
I have one sister. She lives in Switzerland, actually.
Wow. How did that happen?
Right.
She met a Swiss boy when she was in college and fell in love and thought it would be an adventure. And then, she's still married to him and they have 2 kids, but she got there and she's like, oh my gosh, it's really cold here. So she had to learn that whole thing. Honestly, she went to medical school. I am the black sheep of the family. She went to medical school too. And not only did she have to learn, they speak a Swiss dialect of German,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
to practice medicine in a different language is pretty
Wow.
crazy. She's got to,
Right.
learning all the terminology and that kind of stuff. So, I mean, it's been impressive to watch.
Well, they still got to learn all the Latin terms anyway, right? I mean,
Yeah.
the normal medical terms for sure. So how's her bilingual skills now? Since
Oh,
she's
yeah.
been
Yeah. She's incredible. A
there?
lot of times she's thinking in Swiss German and then she's like, what's the English word for this? I'm like, I have no idea. I don't speak that language. I was like, describe it to me. I'll come up with the word.
Right. Oh,
That's great.
Wow, that is.
So have you learned any other languages?
I learned a bit of Spanish when I was in high school and college, and then living in East Texas, I, used a bit more, but that's about it.
You guys in Florida have a pretty good need for Spanish as well.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, more so south of where we
Mhm.
are, but yeah, for sure.
So let's see, you got one sibling. and you've been married for 32 years or 31 years?
32 years.
32.
That's what I thought. 32 years.
Yay.
So you haven't decided yet if he's going to be the one. I mean, I'm guessing that, you're getting close.
Yeah. I mean, it's iffy some days. It's like, oh my gosh, still you're home again. But yeah, I mean, we were really young. Well, I was really young. He's 10 years older than me. I was 21 when we got married. Can you imagine? If my kid,
12.
yeah, that's true. That's true. But I said to my kids, if you guys ever dated someone 10 years older than you, I would kill you. Like,
Isn't it crazy how hypocritical we become? I mean, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
I'm suspicious of all guys who date my daughters. I have 5 girls, and I hate my species. Like
that sums it up. Okay.
Right.
I said that sums it up. I hate my species.
There it is.
Yeah, and the 19-year-old, she's the second to the youngest that we have still in the house right now, and she's dating this guy, and he's 19, and I still look at him with side eye, and I was 19. I know what you're doing.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like how you say dating.
Yeah.
Like it's like some special word.
It's a mess. It's a mess.
Oh my!
But I do my best, which I'm sure you do as well. But I do my best to look back on those times and think about how much I knew everything, and how much I thought no one else understood.
Right.
And I work really hard to be relatable to these young men that come around, But it's hard.
It is. So I'm curious with your now you're doing all kind of platforms of influence, especially the coaching. You mentioned that. So how do you work that in with these as a parent, and especially with kids who are probably now, given their as many as you have, they're getting close to those dating ages, and you have some in their 20s, of course. So how do you work that in?
Yeah, it's an interesting thing to watch my kids grow up and say, oh my gosh, really? I mean, our oldest son is married and she's fantastic. Our next daughter is in Cardiff, Wales. She is not even dating anybody. She's 25, but she's doing a master's degree. She's like, I'm not going to meet someone here. I'm going to wait until I come back to the States. Okay.
She's smart.
Yeah. And then the next one, she's been dating the same guy for like 4 years. So that's good. He's a good human. And nobody else is dating. Like I look at my younger kids, my son who's 21, he's a junior in college, and he's like, it's way too much work, Mom. Like I need to focus on my school. I was like, who are you?
You raised some smart kids.
How are they making? How blessed you are! They're making your job so easy. I mean, really? I mean, toss me a little bit of a fastball every now and then. Come on, guys.
Well, you need to write a parenting manual or something. Because, for the longest time, I referred to this. There's no book for this. Right. But for you, your story sounds so successful with these kids. You need to write this manual for the rest of us.
You, document.
Well, I don't know. Like, is it successful that at 21, he doesn't want to date somebody because it's way too much work? I mean, that kind of tells you the system's a little broken. Right?
Maybe, but it also means that he's focused on building himself.
Yeah, he is.
And that's what really matters. I think about this a lot. I'm not going to say I've grown up, but I really didn't even begin to truly find any maturity until I was 40.
Oh, I was way up there. I was in the decades before I'm like, I don't think that's going to work anymore.
So hearing what you're saying about your son, he's got more maturity than I had at 35.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah.
So kudos again.
Yeah. Thank you. I got 2 in one show. Wow. We should hang up now.
Look at
Stick around, there may be more. We don't know.
So my daughter, who's been dating the same guy for 4 years, whatever. So I have a podcast with her, and so we talk about all of the things. And one of the things she said to me one day, I said, "Why do you think we have such a good relationship?" And she said, "You practice non-judgment parenting. So like when I did something really stupid." You didn't say, "Oh my gosh, that was so stupid. Like, can't believe you did that." She was like, you would say to me, okay, yeah, that already happened. It's in the past. How do we move forward? How can I help you? And I was like,
I love
"Oh."
that.
I do too. That's beautiful.
I
So
love
And she
that.
remembered and accepted it, and obviously did good things with that kind of parenting. Good job.
but inside my head, I probably was really making fun of her. But what I said out loud was
That's the natural thing to
a little
do.
bit more positive.
So you mentioned your podcast. For the audience out there who's going to be listening and watching this, what's the name of it and where do they find it?
It's called Her Unshakable Confidence. And so I host it with Olivia, and we drop an episode every Tuesday on all the podcast platforms. It's a lot of fun. It's that idea of helping her get to a level of confidence way earlier than I'd ever did. And I see it in her. She's a second year law student, and people ask her like how she has no problem stepping up in front of the class to speak. And she's like, "Oh, I have a podcast with my mom." I was like, "Oh, okay, there we go." But it's been a really great experience. And every other week we do an episode, just the two of us. And then the following week we have a guest on, and, really trying to do women's empowerment stuff. We're actually having our first man on later this month. It's very exciting. Yes. So, we'll see how that goes.
Cross species
Oh, man.
contamination
I know.
on the show.
Yes.
It's never going to be the same after that.
I know.
mean, iguanas falling out of the sky, men coming for shows. It's chaos in Florida.
It is. It is.
No, it's going to be great. You guys are going to do wonderful. That is good for her. I like the title. I like the format. And you guys are serious. Having raised my only child is a daughter. I have a couple of stepsons, but she was no less than 10 years younger than the other brother. She's an only child. So you get a lot of introduction to raising girls. And so I appreciate what y'all are doing. That's more than anything else. That's what we wanted. We wanted a confident young person, and being a young woman just as well, but definitely a confident person. So I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So how did that show come into existence? What was the inspiration to develop that podcast?
So we used to have these really crazy conversations. So Olivia was diagnosed with Crohn's disease when she was 16, and it was November of 2019. And then COVID happened and everything shut down. I mean, it's Florida, so it didn't shut down that much, but still shut down. And so, she missed the rest of her senior year. And so we literally just started having conversations. And then after a while, we started doing Instagram lives because I'm like, well, that's a crazy conversation. We should probably record that. And then we were like, why not go all in and do a podcast with it? And, the first episode we did was, I think we called it, How Well Do You Know Me? And so we would ask each other questions about, and fortunately I won, because that would have sucked as the mom to not know my daughter as well as she knows me. So fortunately I won that episode. But, it's been a really great experience of being able to just be who you are, right? We say it how it is. Are you allowed to swear on the show?
If you want to.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. So one of the things we say is that because she has Crohn's, so we always try to make things funny when it comes to anything to do with your guts, is that we don't believe you if you tell us that you've never shit your pants. So, that's kind of like a big motto behind the podcast, is that, being real, being truthful about how you live your daily life.
Yes.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
That's great. That's great.
Yes.
That's great. It brings to mind all sorts of funny stories, but I definitely see the relatability in your show. My girls have all been a part of the competitive cheer world. Are you familiar with that?
Yes. Luckily, none of my girls have done that. But
I refer to it as hell on earth, the trials of life, all those sort of things. And so one of those experiences that I got to have, another dad and I were in similar business, and we found ourselves falling victim to similar schedules and being at these same hell weekends where we would go for competition, and all this stuff would take place. Well, this one weekend in particular, my friend decided to enjoy some adult beverages, and possibly a few too many. And there was a knock on our door in the middle of the night in our hotel room, because we were right across the hall from him, and it was his wife. And he had done just exactly what you said.
Oh, man.
So every now and then we'll come across each other and be like, you know.
Something you don't forget.
Right. Right. But good times. And I love that you turned that into an episode and you could have fun with it and be open and honest about it because, you know, you can't believe somebody unless they're willing to admit that.
That's right.
We have all experienced that.
Yes.
No question about it.
Tell the truth. I've had people say, "Oh no, that's never happened to me." I was like, "Oh, you're lying. I don't want to be your friend. You're lying."
That's a good litmus test.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely ate something bad at one time, got yourself sick, and trusted a fart when you shouldn't have.
Yeah.
You can't say it didn't happen.
You're on the highway. There's nowhere to pull off. I mean, come on, man. And that's, I mean, as an adult, I mean, we were all children, if not by the grace of our parents who suffered through us, you know. So come on, but I even like hearing that from your daughter. Like, I don't believe you if, you know, that's good stuff. That's
really good.
That definitely is. And but you're right about those things. Thank goodness most of my children's activities were on campus. You know, it was either band or sports or whatever. But these parents, like you guys, got involved that just travel the region, and you know their vacations or tournaments and all that. I don't get it. It's a lot, and the sports parents and all that kind of thing.
It makes you idle. You know, like people think that word, it means like you being still or whatever. But I say, no, it's just the back end of two other very important words that you learn in that way of life: homicidal and suicidal. It makes you idle.
Okay. Yeah, that's amazing. So fortunately, I mean, even with 6 kids, we didn't have too much of that. So the older kids basically sucked at sports. So we were very fortunate there. And then we adapted our
That's great.
Yeah, they know it too. We adopted our youngest 3 children, and our son, who's from Ethiopia, he was super athletic, but he got injured a lot. So we never did the traveling teams because he was like always doing something crazy. And I'm like, okay, well, now you have to have surgery for that. So no travel team. Go me. But I've seen so many parents who they spend their entire kid's childhood traveling to all these games.
Yes.
And like they travel with their friends, like everybody becomes friends, but it's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I was very thankful that my kids, the older kids sucked at it. So I didn't have to do that.
Right.
Well, Simone, I really appreciate that you shared that you've adopted kids. My wife and I have done the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
We have that in common. So kudos to you again. That's 3.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you're building it up. You're going to have a stack of those before we get finished with this. We're going to have a kudo trophy that we developed. Kudo trophy. So as a kid, I mean, you've done some pretty amazing things. Mm-hmm. And I would say you've got a successful career as a parent. That's impressive. Yeah. So many of us feel, and I'm sure you go through this too, but so many of us feel like we're failing as parents. We feel like, we didn't do it right. And my wife and I, we kept, like you adopting kids, we just kept bringing in extras trying to get it right, and finally on the 8th go round, this young one that we got after 40, we're hoping that this one finally,
he makes it sound like they kept going to a dealership or something.
I know.
No, typically. Now, here's the crazy thing with us. We did this, over time. Eventually, what we started doing, people would just start bringing us kids. Hey, we found this one over here on the side of the road. You got some space.
Oh my goodness, like so trade.
Yeah.
So, and just for the record, they're beautiful. I've met them, and they are wonderful kids, and they're doing a great job. But it does sound like
I come home from work one day, and my wife will be sitting on the couch with a new one, petting it, exactly. She'd look at me with that look, and I'm like, okay, fine.
Here we go. Yeah, we actually, once we had 6 kids at home, we actually fostered one of the other things I did in my life is I taught elementary school. I figured I had a classroom at home, might as well try to get paid for it. Did not work so well because I ended up paying the babysitter more than I was actually making as a teacher.
Yeah.
But we ended up fostering one of the little girls from my class. Her parents had been arrested, and so she lived with us for about 9 months. And I was the minivan was full at that point. So I was like, how are we going to get everywhere we need to go? Right. I was like, I'm not buying a big van. That's not what I'm doing. So, but it was really an amazing experience to watch her from when she came. I mean, literally, they dropped her off with her cardboard box, you know? She got her few things in there. That's like her whole life. And, you know, she slept with the lights on. She kept everything packed because she didn't know the next time that she was going to have to leave. And
Yeah.
finally, she got reunited with her grandmother. There's a lot behind that, but she got reunited with the grandmother. And so she was able to move back with her. So, but it's a lot for these kids, you know?
It really is.
It is. We have a good close relationship with a, I guess, how would you describe Buckner? I guess a children's.
Oh, they're a foster and adoption. They were an agency.
Mm-hmm.
Now they are a foster and adoptive parent training program.
Right. So we've done work for some of their fatherhood conferences and various other things like that, and we're friends with a lot of staff. And those things that you're describing, as far as the mindset of a foster coming into your home, where they don't fully unpack and settle in, and those sorts of things, it's sad, but it's been an interesting orientation to see how these children are thinking, and it requires a special adaptive person like you and your husband to be able to kind of work with those limits that they give you,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure those were experiences even for your own children, to have this person come in. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, life changing, and for them to, see what other kids are going through in their lives. We adopted our kids internationally, so the other kids didn't really. Well, I mean, we took them with us when we adopted them, so they saw like where their siblings grew up, like in a mud hut and that kind of stuff. But it's very different when it's in your own backyard, and you're like, oh wow, this is here where when her parents were arrested, like she was taking care of like newborn babies in the house. That's how the whole thing went down. And it was like, no, there's just not. It happens right here. It's not over there somewhere. It's in our backyard.
That's right.
Right. And children of incarcerated folks have been involved with a couple of fundraisers. We never took any children in, but trying to do our part to help. I didn't realize what a large problem that is for these, because when these parents get picked up, they don't really have time to negotiate what's going to happen, and so the system does as well as it can, I suppose. But really, they would rather them be in a home, somewhere with a family.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most disgusting things that I learned through this process, we have fostered and adopted through Child Protective Services, was the primary objective of the services is to reunite them no matter what.
Yes.
And that to me was infuriating, because we have one that I'm not going to go into all the details on here because I don't think it's fair to her, but we had one come to us from some very extreme circumstances, like heartbreaking, extreme circumstances. And services didn't care. They truly did not care about the health and well-being of the child. All they cared about was their directive, and their directive was reunification. And it was horrifying. It worked out for the best. I mean, we ended up, obviously with the kid, and but my goodness, we got a little broken system going on there.
It does. It makes you wonder where that thinking is, and where did it originate, and why they still think that's an applicable, successful system when it evidently is not. It's not going to be.
Yeah, it was really interesting, the whole process, because so the mom wasn't allowed to have her. The dad and the stepmom got arrested. Then there were, I think, 3 or 4 other kids in the house. They all went to different places. She got put in a teen shelter at 10 years old. That's when we came in and took her with us. But yeah, the whole goal was to get her out from us and get her back with some blood family member. And, everybody had some kind of record, right? Everybody had something. So it took 9 months, and the grandmother was always so angry at me. And I was like, I am taking care of your kid, right? I am not trying to take away your kid.
Right.
I understand that they're trying to figure out a way to, for reunification. I get it, right? But I didn't step up to say, well, this is now going to be my kid. I stepped up because nobody else was, right? She's 10 years old in a teen shelter, but you're angry at me. Like, so yes, the system is very broken.
Which is just pure, projection and displacement. That had nothing to do with your family.
Yeah.
And you guys were emotionally intelligent enough to know that. But from the outside looking in, folks are like, we see the origin of the problem.
Yeah.
It's yelling at me across the room. But yet they felt like that was going to be the best thing. And something too, before we leave this topic, those kids who are like 8, 10, well, these parents may have 10-year sentences. And they said, well, do the math. How old do you think they're going to be when this parent, sees freedom again? Whether they're prepared for that freedom or not, this child will reach adulthood, before that happens, before they are released. And so let's start making plans now, because that's they're going to want some unification, like a child probably would, but that's got to go well.
Yeah. I mean, even my younger kids, when we talk about going back to Ethiopia. So my 18-year-old and my 21-year-old are from Ethiopia. Our 19-year-old is from South Korea. And when we talk about, do you want to go back, right? Like, when do you want to go back? And they're still at the point where they don't want to yet. I want them eventually to go back and see and understand. And, but my son Ari, so he was 4.5 years old when he came home, and he's like, I have memories and I'm good. Right. But I think as they get older, they're gonna want that kind of connection just to understand, and which I'm happy for. Like, I think it's important for them to, like, I'm not jealous. I'm like, let's go meet them. The more people that love you, the better, right? And let's go meet them and let's go see. But and then my youngest daughter, she's like, oh no, what if they decide to keep me? And I was like, it doesn't work that way. She goes, how do you know how it works? And I was like, okay, yes, when you're ready, we'll do it. No pressure.
Yeah. Now, were they has there been connections? Like, now we're sitting here on a format talking across state lines. Have they been able to communicate with people through these formats, or?
No. So I mean, when I say that they grew up in a mud hut, there's no electricity, no running water. Our kids from Ethiopia, and South Korea was a closed adoption. Now that Noah's 19, they can try to find him, but they haven't reached out. It's
not going to be easy.
Yeah.
Okay. We got one from Guatemala that's like that.
Mm-hmm.
And she's had some curiosity about, and it's all but impossible to snake down a relative.
Yeah. Only if there's like 23andMe or whatever that platform is, where
and both parties have to have done it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So
one advantage, it seems, is that your children, having had some assortment of memories, but obviously having a lifetime of experience here, they can speak with authority as to a lot of the valuable things we have in our country, like you guys being big influencers of education and various other things like that. That they can talk to other children who may be taking advantage in a poor way of a lot of the freedoms and liberties we have, and go, you don't understand. You're in a much better place than I know of.
Yeah, I would say, like, our son Ari, the one that I said, like, doesn't want to date because it's too much work. He has severe dyslexia, so he has to work really hard at school, and that's why it's so important to him, because he gets it now that he's older, that it's like, oh, this is what I went through. If I were living there, what would I be doing right now? Definitely wouldn't be going to college. So this is really important to me.
I love that he has that awareness about him. That's beautiful.
It is.
So are your parents still with you? Are they still alive?
My mom is. My dad passed away in 2019, but my mom lives around the corner. She's 86 years old. She went to medical school in 1961. There were 120 people in the class. 5 of them were women. She grew up in rural Pennsylvania on a farm. Her mom had a 6th grade education. Her dad worked in the coal mines. And she walked into a library when she was in 10th grade and said, I had no idea this existed. She thought it was a church, and opened up the world to her, and realized that she wanted to be educated, and started working for another family, taking care of their kids, saving all her money, and worked 3 jobs in college, and she made it happen. And my whole life, she worked, and she was amazing, because not only would she work, she would sew our clothes, she would cook dinner every night. Like, she did all the things. And, now that she's retired, she's pretty funny. She reads all the time. Like, that's her big thing, is she loves to read. And she loves her dog.
Her dog? What kind of dog is it?
He's a golden doodle. And let me tell you,
Yeah,
I got her the dog
bad.
during COVID. Best thing
Yeah.
I ever did. Like, she needed a purpose. He is the purpose.
Love it.
He helped you out, didn't he?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I'm going to give you some encouragement about something. And I don't share this too often on the show. I tell people about it, but this show was started for someone similar to your mom. Okay. The origin of this show is because I wanted to document my grandfather's life. So my encouragement to you would be, since you have your own podcast and all that kind of stuff, bring her on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And interview her about her entire life story, because that makes her immortal.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
So I would encourage you to do that. Bring her on your show and document her life story.
Right.
And not only will it be a precious, cherishable memory for you and your daughter, because I would recommend y'all do it together. How fun would that be? But your audience will love it.
They will.
Because the truth about history is not shared in school as we would want it to. The truth about history is lost every time one of those generations dies.
Yeah. So true.
And they know the truth. They have it inside them. They lived it.
Right. Not to be dramatic, but our cemeteries are full of untold treasures, and his grandfather's episode was one of our highest ranks and probably may still be.
It's one of the originals, and the sound quality is terrible.
Oh, it's horrible. We were so non-tech.
Well, I had these wonderful fancy microphones, this great soundboard and all this stuff. I didn't know how to use it, didn't know how to turn it on, didn't know how to make it communicate with each other. But we recorded the interview. By God, we made it happen. We got the information, but it sounds awful.
With a laptop microphone, we just didn't know it.
I didn't even know that's what was happening. We had the mics there. It looked like we were really.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Three episodes in, and a good tech friend of ours reached out by just text message. Finally, phone goes, "I think something's wrong with y'all's sound system, and everything's lit up." And he and Rob figured it out. It was like a one switch. He's like, sorry.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to expose all my secrets. But anyway, it was a learning curve in the beginning,
but we captured the treasure. Oh my goodness, the stories he had from pre-war.
He was a World War II veteran.
Yeah, early 20th century. Riding horses to school and such. It's amazing, just amazing.
Yeah, that's a great idea. We'll do it when they Thanksgiving, because Olivia will be home. And I have this is usually my studio, just a desk, but I have chairs set up that we could do it over there. That's a great idea. Thank you.
So I'm going to give you some
thought about it.
Yeah, don't put it off. Do it as fast as you can.
Right.
And
she is such a pioneer. All these, just what little bit you told me, I'm having a great time.
Yeah.
So since we disclosed that about your mom and her strength and her drive towards purpose, who would you categorize as your biggest mentors, your greatest influences on your life growing up and to become the adult that you are?
I would definitely say my mom. I mean, but we'll look at it in two ways. So yes, in terms of the drive, wanting to have your voice heard, that kind of stuff. She also, though, really struggled with self-doubt. I mean, I struggled the first 40 something years of my life. Didn't matter that I had 6 kids, didn't matter what I was doing. I didn't feel like I was making a difference. It took a moment in 2015 where I climbed Kilimanjaro. I am not a climber. I have 16 steps in my house. We live at, sea level. And I went camping twice. I had to borrow someone's sleeping bag because I was like, I'm not going to invest in that. I'll never use that again. But that moment was life-changing for me. But when I look at my mom, she struggled so much, and she would always say that she wasn't good enough. She wasn't smart enough. And even now she'll get on some, she's like, "Oh, I'm so dumb. I can't figure this out." And I was like, "You're not dumb at all. You're super smart. You went to medical school in 1961. You learned how to fly a plane when you were 18 years old. Let's take a step back." So the things that I take away from my mom, it's like twofold. It's kind of like, yes, what to do, and also what not to do, like how to build yourself up as a human. And that's what I teach other women is, we need to rewrite the story that we're telling ourselves. And, so I coach her as well at 86 years old, like, "Oh, you're doing amazing. Like, look at what you just figured out. You need to stop being so hard on yourself." So
yes, you can't turn it off, can you?
No,
all these people around you that you just have to stay on singing all the time.
Yeah.
we kind of get it as counselors and coaches. We get it,
Yeah.
So you climbed Mount Kilimanjaro.
Yes.
Oh, do you like how I snuck that in there?
Yeah. Well, we were going to get to it.
Okay.
It's on the note.
I have to ask.
Okay.
Everybody has their reason for doing things. I have personally jumped off of an overpass and rappelled off of one. I've done some stupid things, crazy things. Just why?
I was going to say, are you calling this stupid? So I really struggle with that question because I think part of it was that it was never a bucket list item, but that because I needed to get out of my comfort zone. I'll say that is my answer. But
That's a perfect reason.
yeah, I was a yes girl for so long. I would, can you do this for me? Yes. Can you pick up my kid? Can you do that? I have 6 kids and people are asking me to take care of their kid, Yes, I can do that. Yes, I can do that. And so one of the things was I really struggled to say no, even if I didn't want to do it. And when I was asked to do it, well, first my husband was asked and basically they got to, would you want to? And he's like, oh my gosh, no, thank you. Call Simone. And so they called me and I said, yes. And then I looked at what I was going to have to do and I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a lot. But that idea of I needed to get out of my comfort zone. I needed to get out of my own way. Like I'm doubting myself on all kinds of ridiculous stuff because I don't think I'm capable of these things. And so it was the idea of pushing myself in a way that I've never pushed myself before so I could realize what I was capable of. And that's exactly what happened. And my whole life changed because of that one experience.
Wow. I absolutely love that and admire that. And that's the reason to do it. To get yourself out of a comfort zone, to prove to yourself that you're not limited to everyone else's expectations. And in your coaching practice, I'm going to give you something that if you want, I use in ours, I use in mine, I use it in our corporate training and everything. I ask people about, why do we do what we do? Why do you have the profession? Why do you have a job? And, people think that they work to earn money, but the truth is it's not why you work. You work to earn freedom. You work to earn freedom. And people think about, we use these 2 words and you said you were a yes person most of your life.
Yes.
And there's a fascinating thing about the 2 words, yes and no. Those 2 words, they're so powerful and pregnant with meaning. And I ask people which one of those words represents freedom and why and how. So I'm going to ask you, of those 2 words, which one represents freedom and how?
I would say no represents freedom because when you say no to things, it opens the doors for the yeses that you really want.
That's it. No releases you from the bondage of yes. 100% yes is a prison. An unwilling yes from compulsion locks you in a cage. And that is the most unfair place to put yourself. So there you go. Freebie, you can have that. I don't know if you use it already, but
thank you. Yes, I do. But I say it in a different way. So I like what you said about the earning freedom. It's not about earning money. So
that's right. Money is just a scorecard. But the true result is we are seeking freedom. The pursuit is not the purpose. The pursuit is the reason. Yeah. The pursuit is where the freedom is found. And your mom is going to resist the interview most likely.
It'll be interesting to see. Like I think if Olivia asks her, she'll do it.
There you go. There you go.
So
use the leverage.
It will make her really nervous, but I think it'll be great.
Yeah, that's why we're teammates because, we can kind of pass off that every now and then. Like, no, you should go ask them, Chuck. Okay. And then it works.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait. I want to see that episode when it happens. I hope you'll send me a link to it.
Yeah, I will.
If you do, I'll share it on our page with our audience.
But what Thank a testament you have to breaking that natural seal that we all create, And here you are living in Florida. Who would ever imagine that you went to the other side of the world and then climbed up on the roof?
Yes.
and they wouldn't until you tell them. And then that's where credibility just kicks in right there. Like, you don't have to be sealed in. You can break your seals.
So give us the two, the best and the worst moments of the climb.
Oh.
Tell us about that. Well, like, you're our first Kilimanjaro person that's come on the show. So there's your fourth kudos.
Oh my gosh, this is really good. I feel like I should get a trophy in the mail.
Right. There you go.
I'm gonna be looking for it. So I would say the best. There's a few best ones. The worst one was that I got sick to my stomach because they take the water from the river and they treat it with iodine. First of all, like their water pack tastes like iodine, so that's gross. But obviously one day the iodine didn't work well. So I was it's like, how am I gonna do this? Like, you got to go to the bathroom like every 15 seconds.
Yeah.
So, but I made it. I survived. I kept going. I was like, excuse me, run off to the side. Excuse me. Oh, I also, I'll give you a tip for anybody. It's camping or climbing a mountain. A pee funnel. As a woman, a pee funnel is like the gift of all gifts. Mine was called a shiwi.
Exactly. I've seen that advertised.
It's exactly what you think it is. It allows you to pee standing up. And when it's 10 degrees outside and you don't want to have to take off all the layers, it is fantastic. So, you got to practice a little bit.
That for a female out in the wild, especially in cold environment, you got to pull your whole bum out and expose it to the elements.
Right.
That
sucks. Guys just need a portal, but you guys, that is awesome. Did not know that existed. Thank you.
That's a tip. That's not like my best moment, because that would be ridiculous if I would say that. But a couple of best moments. The people that I went with, because we were all raising money for the Livestrong Foundation. I didn't know anybody on the team, so it was amazing to come into this group. And when you think about leadership, you think about the boardroom. You think, I call it kitchen table leadership, but in terms of leadership on a mountain, it's a whole different thing. Like, if one person can't go, do we all stay back? Do we, so that was really interesting to me. But so the people were amazing. And then when we reached the summit, my phone worked and I was able to call home. And the kids were like cheering in the background. I'm like, tears freezing to my face.
Amazing.
And kids were cheering in the background, and the dogs started barking, and then the kids started yelling at the dogs to stop barking, and the kids started yelling at each other to stop yelling. And, and I was like, this is why I'm here. No, it was, I mean, that was just such a cool moment, because I could like experience the moment. I could describe it to them. And that was, and who knows? I was the only one. My tent mate, she actually used my phone to call home as well, but nobody else had cell service, so I can't tell you why I did. But thank you, AT&T.
That is amazing. You had a real mountaintop conversation.
Yes.
With your family. Who all can say that?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you are one of a fraction of 1% of humanity that will ever experience that.
Right. We may have even just found you a possible sponsor when your podcast AT&T. It's like, hey, I used your service from the rooftop of the world. If you want to put it in a commercial, I'm your girl.
Yeah.
So here's a question for you. I got two questions related to your climb. How many in the party started the ascent, and then how many finished?
Everybody finished. There were 16 of us. Everybody finished.
Everybody made it to the summit?
Everybody made it to the summit. There was one woman who started getting a really bad cough. It's so interesting because you just don't know how your body is going to react to the altitude. Like, you can be the fittest person possible. She was a marathon runner. And when we hit, so the final ascent is from about 15,000 something up to the 19,341. And so once we got to around 15,000 feet, she started coughing continuously. She didn't want to quit though. So what they ended up doing was, because this is the leadership decision, one of the younger guys who was doing great, he actually stayed back and walked with her, one of the porters and one of the guides. And so they walked together as like a little pod, and the rest of us kept going, because you do the final ascent in the darkness. So you start like at 11 p.m. So you're up there at sunrise. But she made it. But when we got to the top, it was interesting how quickly people went downhill. They take your blood oxygen level. And one of the guys also was like a college football player, and he was down in the 50s. I'm like, okay, you're losing brain cells. Like, we cannot stay here long.
Wow.
And I was still like, of course, as a mom of 6, I'm looking at everyone thinking, okay, you don't look so good. Your lips are a little purple. We should check you out. And the one guy was, I mean, he got loopy. So they had to actually have a person on each side of him walking him back down because,
Mhm.
I mean, you could fall off, right? I mean,
Mhm.
you're on a path, you're on a trail. So yeah, that was fascinating watching how people did, but everybody made it.
That's amazing.
That is. That is.
So the second question dealing with that is, would you do it again?
Mm. I would do it again. I'd rather do a different mountain. My problem is I'm like things on me have fallen apart. Like I had knee surgery years ago. And so my knee, when I came down that mountain, was like a big swollen bear. It was pretty brutal. The up was fine. The down was what was really hard for me. And so I had to walk quite slow on the way back. And so one of
Mhm.
the guides, he's like, this is the part where we really rush towards the end. And I said, I can't, I'm sorry. And he's like, oh no, don't be sorry. He goes, I'm actually appreciating this moment because typically it's about getting it finished instead of looking around at the environment. He's like, I never realized there were monkeys in this area before. Like, so he
What?
saw it in a whole different way because he wasn't trying to just finish. He was, and he had done this multiple times. He was like, oh, I actually get to enjoy what's happening now. So, always remind yourself of that when you're struggling with something that,
Mhm.
think about the good things that are happening with it.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, so from the mindset piece, yes, because it really did change everything for me. But I had shoulder surgery 4 months ago. I'm slowly starting to fall apart a little bit.
What was your preparation? Was there some recommendations of
Mm.
things to do, or?
Yeah, so I started 6 months before the climb because that's when I signed up, and I was on the treadmill every day. I worked out every single day. I also used to wear this elevation training mask. So you might have seen people at the gym wear them. Probably now after COVID, I wouldn't have looked so weird, but I would wear it we have one bridge in Sarasota. I would have my pack and my boots and my gorilla mask on. And my kids were like, oh my gosh, we are not coming anywhere near you when you do this. So, but you could adjust, there were like valves that would control, obviously not the oxygen level, but it helped with lung capacity.
Right.
So you
Mhm.
would change it. And I think it went up to like 15,000 feet. Like, so basically you're breathing through a straw at that point. Like,
Yeah.
but it worked. I mean, I really had great lung capacity afterwards. I could hold my breath for like 2 minutes after I did that for 6 months.
Wow.
Now I
Wow.
can hold it for about 15 seconds. So,
And obviously, too, your body is about as prepared as you can get it
yeah.
with a lot of the walking, the treadmilling, the hiking. I have a friend here in Beaumont that he's done about half of the 14ers in Colorado,
Wow.
and he's getting near 50, so I don't know if he's going to make the other half, but that's his goal if he'll do it. But he goes to one of our local parking garages with a backpack full of books, and that's how he trains. And he'll start that probably maybe right after the new year, and then he'll hit as many in the warmer months as he can. Obviously, timing was part of your expedition as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I did the same. We have a parking garage at the hospital that I would just go and up and down the stairs with my pack on, and I'm sure people thought I was crazy and that I was probably going to bomb the building, but I really wasn't. I was just trying to practice. So yeah,
You put the bag down and run from it. That's,
I know, right?
you set the bag down and run away from it and see anybody else.
Go hide behind the pillar and just watch people
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get arrested. I was training.
Right. Like, no, I'm just
Oh, that's
resting.
crazy.
No, I'm just, yes. No, thank you for that. I was, as you're telling about, some of the highlights, of the climb, I was just curious, how do you get ready for something like that? So thank you.
Well, I've got a huge question for you. After you climb Kilimanjaro and you raise 6 kids and you've got all these things that you've done in your life, what do you do next?
What I'm doing, right? So I have a book coming out in February. So that's my second book. My first book came out in 2020 because I was really good with timing there.
You
And for
got to
this,
give them the name.
yes. So the first book was called The Extraordinary Unordinary. It is called, it's still out there. The Extraordinary Unordinary You. Follow your own path, discover your own journey. And it's all about realizing what you're capable of and recognizing that the little things you do every day matter. The second book comes out February 17th. Pre-order it, please, at realconfidencebook.com.
There you go.
It's called Real Confidence, a simple guide to go from unsure to unshakable. It's really more directed towards women, but it is, I have a real method. My method is called the real method. Respect yourself, embrace your failures, ask yourself what you want, and live without limits. And so it's that broken down across my book to really help you move forward and not just pretend to be confident because, we don't need to change who we are. We need to change the way we see ourselves.
Yes,
I love it.
I do too. Well done. Thank you, Simone.
Thank you.
So, do you consider yourself a success?
Yes.
I love it.
I do too.
An answer with confidence.
Yes.
There's a fifth kudos.
Oh.
Mhm.
I need two more, and then I have one for every day of the week, and then I,
We're
don't have to
stacking
do anything
them up.
else this
Yeah,
week.
we're almost
We're
there. Yes.
So, what? I mean, if you had to differentiate yourself or set yourself apart from others, what do you think is the biggest difference in you and other people who consider themselves to be authors, motivation people in the female motivators, and what sets you apart?
So, I think a few things set me apart, but I think that the mindset piece is a really big piece for me. Understanding that I had this transformation. I didn't just make it up. Like, this is how I lived my life. I started off when I was between 15 and 18. I had an abusive boyfriend, and that really shaped my path forward. I shoved it down for a very long time. My kids knew about it, my husband knew about it, but I didn't talk about it with anybody else. And so it took many years to realize that that was something big that was holding me back because I never addressed it. It was like, oh, what will other people think? Right. And that kind of shame piece. And so I had this transformation of going from someone who really struggled to someone who I look at other people and I don't compare myself. I say, congratulations. Like, when they have something great in their life, congratulations. That's amazing. Not like, oh my gosh, why isn't that me? I wish it were me. And I think that's a big difference. I think a lot of people will go through and still be comparing themselves to, especially women, to other women, thinking, oh, I'm not enough, right? Because they have all these great things going on. You are enough right where you are. Like, you are amazing as you are. Got to change the way you see yourself.
Isn't that amazing that like so many people's perspective is so skewed because of envy? We look at others and we think, why not me?
Right.
Instead of, why not them? Let them have their success.
Sure.
I'm walking my own path. It's unrelated to what they're doing. So
one of my favorite authors and theorists is Dr. Wayne Dyer, and I kind of can't get enough of a lot of his documented his speeches and things like that. But he said, after a certain time going through some personal challenges, some not too dissimilar than your children, he said one of my goals was to learn to be non-judgmental. He said, and he mentions how people become judgmental, but to get away from it, to move beyond that to a place. And I think your encouragement to our audience today to learn to love yourself and a lot of those related things is part of that path. To be non-judgment. I'm not judging your success. I'm happy for your success,
and not judging yourself.
Not judging yourself.
Yeah.
He's kind of funny. He said, I could judge, what I like to eat, because I don't like the taste. He goes, but not a person. That person has a soul inside, and that's a different thing. But I do have a question. So, you've obviously been through a lot. You mentioned some of those late teen experiences, as well as marriage and children and various other things at college and what have you, losing a parent and those sorts of things. So how have challenges, setbacks, and maybe I even use the word maybe failures, how have they worked for you?
Yeah, I mean, failures are a learning tool. They're not something that should make you feel bad about yourself, right? I mean, we all fail. That's hard stop. We all fail. And it's what we do with that failure that matters. So if we take that failure and say, "Oh, I'm never going to do anything again because I'm a failure." No, you failed at something. It's a moment in time, right? What did you learn from it? Move forward. And anytime you're struggling with something, like feel the emotions, feel all the feels, pick a day and move forward. When Olivia was diagnosed with Crohn's, she would, of course, like we're devastated, right? This is not something that's going to go away. This is a lifelong thing she's going to deal with. And I said to her, like, she's the girl who wanted to travel the world to eat every possible food. Like, that's her thing. Right. And so I said to her, go ahead, cry, scream, whatever you need to do, and then pick a day and it's in the past. Like we have to move forward because you could get stuck here forever. And that's kind of how I approach anything. And not that that was a failure, but that like something that we struggle with. It's picking a day to move forward and feeling the feels. Like when something goes bad in business, you're like, well, that really sucked. Okay, but what did I learn from it? And what would I do different next time instead of, oh, I'm never going to do that again. So
Right.
I think that is key to when we look at our lives and instead of saying, oh gosh, I'm just going to sit, I'm just going to sit back there in my comfort zone because it's not scary back there. It's actually scarier in your comfort zone. Get out of your comfort zone, move forward, see what you're capable of.
Right, right. And this is kind of more martial, but any military leader would tell you that. They would say, you're assuring your victory if you keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. But there's something you told your daughter that I really like. A lot of times, as a counselor, folks will come in, and I'm usually kind of the first report. They kept a lot of things secret and private or whatever. And I say, well, the worst thing that you can think of how this is affecting you, what is that? And they're almost like ashamed to say because they know they probably shouldn't complain. I go, no, take a moment. I mean, we're not going to stay there. We just need to go there for a minute. Just do it. And like you told your daughter, say all the things you want to say about this thing that's now affecting your body for life. Say it. But like you said, there's going to be a moment when then that's it. Now we're going to move forward, and it will be behind us. But I don't know that people rightfully or fairly give themselves permission to have just that brief little blip of time on the timeline to just fuss and cuss and say all the things that they want to say about it, and then it's over. All right, move forward.
Yeah, you have to give yourself permission. I mean, you have to say that you can do these things, right? And the same thing with permission to like be upset about something. Give yourself permission. Like that sucked. Acknowledge that it sucked and then say, okay, now I'm done with acknowledging it. What am I going to do differently?
There it is.
So I caught something that you said. Olivia wanted to travel the world and eat, right? So what if she was able to develop a traveling show that was called Olivia Eats the World?
Yes. So that's
inspiring.
actually hilarious. So when she was younger, she wanted to go on what's the guy who eats all the crazy foods? Andrew Zimmer. She's like, I want to be the young version of Andrew. I want to do like the kid version. Yes. And but she'll eat crazy stuff. She's, but yeah. So first you got to finish law school and, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's a great idea. Yes. Olivia Eats the World. Yeah. But I was like, she can still eat. She just had these ideas in her head. I'm like, but you can't pour the whole bottle of hot sauce on there, girl. Like, make good choices.
So, Simone, it has been a great pleasure having you with us today. We are drawing towards the end of our interview with you. Before we do, we've got a few questions that we always ask our guests that are traditional questions. But before we do that, is there anything that we missed that we didn't ask you that we should have that you'd like to share with our audience?
I want to give you a quick mindset hack. So when this is something that I've used for years, when I'm struggling with something, when I can't get it out of my head, we all have that voice in our head. I call it the what if whisperer. I mean, her real name on my head is Sally Fine, freaked out, insecure, neurotic, and emotional.
Nice.
But thank you. But she she likes to tell me that I'm not good enough. I'm not capable enough. And so I have my mindset hack. It's called Control Alt Delete. Yes. We remember back in the day, the 3 keys to reboot a frozen computer. I look at that for my mindset as well. When my mind freezes, when I'm stuck in this comparison game or spiraling in self-doubt, what do? This is what I do. So control is about awareness. You're going to have those negative thoughts come in your head. You're not going to be able to stop that, but you can control what you do with them, right? So that's the first thing is saying, oh yeah, Is this real? Is this helpful? Most of the time, it's not. Alt is about alternative. Tell yourself a better story instead of what if I fail? How about when I succeed? Oh, I can't do that. Yeah, you can. Tell yourself that you can do it. And finally, delete. Delete the habits and beliefs that don't serve you. Delete the comparison game. Delete the belief that you're not enough. Delete the apology. Delete the idea that you need to wait until you feel ready. And I love to say this because waiting until you feel ready is like waiting for IKEA instructions to actually make sense. It is not going to happen. That's
Oh, good
okay.
stuff.
That's what I want to leave your audience with.
I like it. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you
was
very
ideal.
much.
Well done. Like
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah.
Well, Chuck, before I ask my final questions that I always victimize our guests with, is there anything that you'd like to ask or say to Miss Simone?
I just like to share. Thank you for being our guest today. You have been an inspiration. I appreciate your overcoming spirit, from the things that you've been through. And I definitely appreciate if the audience didn't catch it, you and your husband have a heart that is almost hidden, like with the children and the people you've taken into your home. But more than that, how you love them and love them well through everything that they've been through with their afflictions, as well as, some of their early childhood things. And then just your personal challenge, your personal transformation. It's just been very inspirational. Thank you for being our guest.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. And there's your 7th kudos.
Yeah, it is.
Your 7th kudos. And include that mindset shift with that. So you've got one for each day of the week.
Yes, it's like having a little vitamin pill box, just open you up a kudo.
I'm going to send you my address so you can send the trophy.
There you go. So the final 2 questions that I like to ask every guest. The first one of them is, if an audience member from our audience is seeing you, maybe they're a younger person, maybe they're not, maybe they're past 40, but they're inspired by you and they'd like to apply your life lessons to their own life. What advice might you give them?
So I would say, first of all, yes, my life lessons, but your life is completely different than mine. So don't try to compare yourself to what I've been through, what I'm going through. I've had people say, oh, you climbed Kilimanjaro. I could never do that. Okay, well, would you want to? No, I wouldn't want to. Okay, use those words, right? The words you say to yourself really matter. So I would say that's the first thing, is that talk to yourself like you would your best friend. You're going to wake up in the morning and treat your best friend like crap? No, you won't. So don't do it to yourself. So think about that when you're going through your day, that, wait, oh no, I would not treat my best friend like this. So don't do it to yourself, and talk to yourself kindly. Like you live with yourself for the rest of your life. Be nice to yourself.
You're the only one you can't get away from.
That's it. Be your own best friend. Thank you.
That's really good advice. I like that. Thank you, Simone. Thank you so much. So my final question, and it just so happens to be my favorite question. If you could go back in time, magically go back in time and speak to your younger self, let's say you at about 17 years old, and give yourself some profound words of wisdom that could impact your own life, what would you say?
Okay, I'm going to answer this twofold, because first of all, I don't believe in going back. I believe that everything that's happened in my life happened for a reason. And so all the crap I went through brought me to the point in time where I am today, talking to you guys, really living my best life. But if you're saying that I have to go back in time, then I would say that you've got this. Like, you need to, again, talk to yourself like you would your best friend. Don't treat yourself like crap. Don't listen to what anybody else is thinking about you, especially, let's call him John from that time period, that all the mean things he said, all the horrible things he did, they weren't your fault, right? That was on him. And the best decision you'll ever make is to walk away.
It's a fascinating thing what you did there, and I like it. So I'm going to share something with you that as of yet, you'll be the first. So the purpose of that, the reason that I added that to our interview process, was to give our guests a parting spirit of confidence, because you are where you are because of what you've been through. The things that you experienced in your life were the building blocks and stepping stones to bring you to this place of success and freedom. So there's an 8th kudos in there for you.
That's good.
We just keep stacking them up.
Yeah.
So thank you.
I'll be back next week. I'll be back next week. You know.
Oh,
There you go. There you go. Thank you so much for allowing us the privilege of showcasing you and your life with our audience. It's been an honor. You've been a great guest. And if there's any way we can help you here at the Pursuit of Purpose, in your pursuit of your purpose, we'd be glad to do it. Where can people find your services, your products, your book, the things that you're doing to pursue your purpose?
So best way to find me is my website, SimoneKnego.com, which is SIMONEKNEGO. I know it's weird. It's my husband's, fault. So that's what we'll do with that. And my new book, Real Confidence, A Simple Guide to Go from Unsure to Unshakable, February 17th. You can find it at realconfidencebook.com. There's all kinds of fun bonuses, including a reverse interview from my daughter on there when you pre-order. So she got to ask me all the questions, which was fun. And yeah, I'm on social media. So if you look for me, you will find me, because nobody else is named Simone Knego in the world until someone finds me so amazing that they change their entire name, or they, have a kid and named them after me. But as of right now, I'm it. So.
Well, thank you very much.
Yes.
And for all of our audience out there, thank you guys for allowing us to become a part of the pursuit of your purpose. I'm Rob.
I'm Chuck.
And today we've had with us
Simone Knego.
All right. You guys have a great day, and we will talk soon.